What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the BuiBros Football Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Quinn Bowie, and I cheer for the LA Chargers. And across from me, my brother Brandon.
And I cheer for the Minnesota Vikings. And on today's episode, we're going to be doing our weekly Vikings Chargers recap. We're going to be going over, a couple little things. For the Vikings, at least, it'll be little rumors and just not too much going on. But we'll talk about it.
Absolutely. Well, that is the off season, or the off season from the off season. This lull period right now, where we're all striving for that football content. Can't wait for training camp to start. So let's see how we can fill the gap today. But if you are with us, thank you so much. We do appreciate you stopping by the channel. If you do like what you're listening to, please make sure to subscribe, like the video, and make sure to hit the notification bell, because it really does help the channel out. It lets us know that you enjoy talking football just as much as we do. And the season's coming up here. Can't not wait. But Brandon, let's go. What's going on with the Vikings these days?
The Vikings. As you mentioned, the training camps will start here, I think next month. So we still have I'm pretty sure they're in August. I don't think they start in July.
Training camps are in August. Or sorry, in July.
Are they?
Yes, they are, absolutely.
Oh, so we're almost there, maybe. Hopefully.
Yes, we are.
Okay, well, anyways, while we wait for it, news is a little slow, but some fun things came out. I'll talk with more of a real thing, is that the Vikings are actually planning on signing Cam Akers as long as he passes his physical.
Okay.
He tore his Achilles last year. It was right after Kirk did, 1 or 2 weeks later. It was super lame. He tore his Achilles, and I think this is his second Achilles tear, if I'm remembering right. That his first major injury with the Rams was his other Achilles, which he came back from in 6 months or something like that, and it came back for the Super Bowl run, and that was cool, I guess, for them. So he's coming back. Hopefully he can make a good recovery like he did last time. It's reported that he is progressing quickly, just as he did last time. So that'll be very, very exciting. I think he's still only 24 or something like that. He's still really young. I liked him on the team last year when we ended up signing him. I thought that was kind of fun.
He was a good compliment to Alexander Madison.
Yeah, he was. It was kind of he was just better than him. And we were always really excited to see him out on the field. I've seen some things that apparently, a lot of people say that he doesn't have the best vision, but he's got, the physical abilities. So I don't know. If he plays for the Vikings, I will cheer for him. He was fun 100%. Last year. I hope that he can crush it again. It sucks to have people be plagued by injuries. So if he can be healthy, then I hope that he's a Viking. So we'll see what happens with that, but that could be pretty fun.
Awesome. And just to pause there for a moment, Brandon, you were right. You were half right. You were right, and I was right. Training camp is at the end of July, and the Vikings actually goes deeper into August than the Chargers camp does. Okay. It looks like July 27th to August 8th is going to be for the Vikings, and then it's July 24th to August 4th for the Chargers there.
Yeah. Because we're filming this July 2nd. That's a month away.
A month away, right? Exactly.
So we got a couple weeks, but that's good. I actually just read the other day, must have been, I think it was last week, that there's only 10, so now 9 Sundays of no football left, which is pretty cool.
We're down to the single digits.
Oh man, that's so exciting. I don't know. It's gonna fly by these next 9 weeks, and then the season's all of a sudden gonna fly by. But anyway, so the last thing for the Vikings, it's just more fun. Right. More fun for the fans and everything, is that I think maybe 2 weeks ago, JJ McCarthy was out, practicing on his own, throwing to whoever he was throwing to. And one of the people that he was throwing to was Adam Thielen. And it was just really fun.
Speculation.
And so every Vikings fan loves Adam Thielen still. He left on it was a little weird. His wife tweeted out they didn't treat him well or something like that. That's just standard NFL spouse stuff when moving teams, I feel like. But
Right.
everybody likes that guy. And so it was just kind of fun that JJ was throwing to him. And then he came out after Adam Thielen did and complimented him, says he has all the tools. You know, he's really looking forward to seeing his career develop. And basically said that it's a good situation here for him. And then everyone's like, oh, is Thielen coming back? You know? And there's a lot of talks because Thielen wasn't like a product of Diggs. He wasn't a product of JJ. He was his own guy. He came up from in football terms, he came up from nothing. Right? He just tried out for the team in the state that he grew up in. And somehow it worked out. Was a special teams guy and then made it to the starting roster. So that guy's awesome. And he was a veteran, maybe not a veteran at the time for Diggs, but he was a mentor for Diggs, a mentor for JJ, a big mentor for Justin Jefferson. And, you know, like I'm sure if you talk to Justin Jefferson and you asked how much of an impact Adam Thielen had on him, he would have no words to describe that. Like that's a big role to fill for a young wide receiver to have that like veteran presence. And that was Adam Thielen. So, you know, if he joined the team again, I'd love to see him with Jordan Addison. I'd love to see the rapport again with Justin Jefferson. And then if JJ's throwing to him, they get some timing. All that kind of stuff is it's just fun. You know what I mean? It's just fun to talk about.
You know, Adam Thielen as even a 3. You know, coming back to play maybe one more season, maybe a couple more seasons. Mm-hmm. I think that would be his storybook ending to his career, right?
Yeah.
Finish you start and end in your home state, and that's incredible. I could probably say the amount of football players that have that opportunity, you could potentially count on less than both of your hands, mm-hmm. right?
But you could
that would be really cool.
He could be like that vet men guy that's a coach, basically. You know what I mean? He's there
and he's going
for
home.
The locker
he's
room.
Like, I can hang out. I can be there. I can be that team guy. Mm-hmm. I move back home. What's better than that?
I kind of always felt that way. It was a little different, but about Randall Cobb. Because he just was, especially in the later years where it seemed like Aaron Rodgers was just bringing him around. Well, he still had to have value to the team, and I always felt that he was the guy who'd been around. If I was a receiver in that room, I would be ecstatic to have any sort of input come from that guy, and I feel like Adam Thielen could be that guy, later in his career for the Vikings specifically, just because this is his favorite team, and this is where he would love to end his career here. Like, I don't think anybody would dispute that. So, but that's all we have really for the Vikings. It was just like fun stuff that went on with JJ McCarthy and Adam Thielen, and then this potential signing of Cam Akers. So, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Fun is good. Fun is good. Having your spirits lifted in this time of the off season is absolutely crucial to keep us all going. But I need to take a little bit more of a serious note here. Okay? A serious note. We are looking for the stories that really will fill that void as we bridge the gap to training camp, the preseason, and then ultimately when the 2024 NFL season starts. And there is a former NFL player, not only a former NFL player, but a former San Diego Charger in Akbar Bahabiamila. Okay, so he has since gone on, and he's a big network guy. He's also co-host of American Ninja Warrior out there, but he's a big TV personality right now as well. And so he showed up on the Rich Eisen show, and Rich Eisen asked him the question: Chiefs three-peat or the field? Now let's pause, right? Like Chiefs pull off the three-peat Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. No team has ever done that before. No team has the Tom Brady Patriots came close, but no team has really stood a chance. It is difficult to win one Super Bowl, let alone back-to-back Super Bowls. But now you're going to say a three-peat.
Yeah.
That is absolutely something that teams should strive for, and that's incredible. And wow, amazing storylines and whatnot. But you know what? Give me a break. That's a little bit disrespectful to the field. And Akbar did go in and he said Chiefs three-peat. And it grinds my gears, Brennan. But then Rich Eisen comes back and says, "Hey, well, like, would any team, like, you don't see anybody like potentially giving them a run for their money?" And he said, I think there is a team. And Rich is like, okay, well, who? Like, AFC or NFC? AFC. Okay, AFC. Is it a division team? And he says yes. Akbar Bahabiamila said, I believe if anybody can do it, the LA Chargers can punch the Chiefs in their mouth. Punch them in the mouth. And all this talk about the Chiefs three-peat is going to end. It's going to be the storyline all year, but it's going to end. And who's going to end it? We all know division matchups are tough. But the Chargers are going to be a tough team this year. Now, Brandon, let me take you through a little bit of this history right now. Chiefs, Chargers, because it is time to punch the Chiefs in the mouth. Last year, we lost both games to them. Unfortunate. But what's more unfortunate is that the LA Chargers have lost the last 10 home games with the Chiefs, dating back to 2013, with the Chargers pulling out an OT win 27-24. So we barely got by. So 10 home games in a row we have lost to them. We have a 3-9 record against the Kansas City Chiefs in the last 5 years, and an overall record of 58 wins, 69 losses, and 1 draw, which is about a 45% win rate there. Absolutely not good enough, especially right now while this dynasty is forming and everybody's on Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid is in contention to be one of the greatest coaches of all time, and absolutely not disputing that there is greatness there. But the time has to come, and the tides are turning now. Whether or not it's this year that the Chargers dethrone the Chiefs, it is inevitable that within this contract with Jim Harbaugh, we believe in Jim Harbaugh, we trust in Jim Harbaugh, the tides will turn, and the Chargers will own the AFC West. Ooh. Now, let's continue to build up the Chiefs a little bit more before we knock them down. Well, guess what? The Chiefs have been to 6 Super Bowls, starting with the first ever Super Bowl in which the Packers throttled them. We all know the story. But this one should grind your gears because in Super Bowl 4, they beat the Vikings 23-7. Super Bowl, then they don't return for 50 years. And that was the big storyline in 2020 when the Chiefs beat the 49ers. So that was Super Bowl 54. Super Bowl 55, they lose to the Buccaneers 31-9. Super Bowl 56, we'll take a break from the Kansas City Chiefs. Then we come back in 2023 to Super Bowl 57. Well, the Chiefs beat the Eagles in a nail-biter, high-scoring affair 38-35. And then, of course, last year, they beat the 49ers in overtime, 25-22. Now lining themselves up for the improbable three-peat of the Super Bowl. Like I mentioned, been to 4 of the last 5 Super Bowls, winning 3. And you know what? They have the best QB in the NFL, and who people I compare this to LeBron James and Michael Jordan, right? We all know Tom Brady's the GOAT when it comes to quarterback in the NFL. It probably in the entire NFL. Well, Patrick Mahomes, with this record so early in his career, he has the chance with the head coach. We've seen that he doesn't necessarily need an all-star cast. They are Goliath. They are absolutely Goliath in the NFL right now, and somebody needs to knock them down. Well, guess what? This year, another year older. We've talked about this. Travis Kelce, another year older, thinking about his future. Maybe T. Swift. Hey, maybe that makes him think a little bit more about what's going to happen after football. They have no proven wide receivers on their team. Rashee Rice, off-field issues. Can't believe these football players sometimes. And, let alone some of the other players that have had their off-field issues going on this season. Hollywood Brown comes in, new system, new quarterback. You got to get the timing right. But also, Hollywood Brown, completely unproven in the NFL, oft injured. He's a stopgap at best right now. We'll see what happens. Xavier Worthy, notable first-round rookie wide receiver out of Texas. He's a smaller rookie, incredible athleticism, but still raw in his game, especially in the route running department. There is no proven wide receivers on the team. The defense lost one of its top corners last year, or this year, in L'Jarius Sneed. That's going to be a huge blow to what their defense was great at, and that was back in the secondary. And that allows Patrick Mahomes to do his thing a whole lot more on offense. And Chris Jones, well, hopefully Chris Jones' age catches up to him. Can't really.
Chris Jones has a huge contract, hurting that defense.
So much of the salary cap with him. And I could go down that. But it's time. The LA Chargers are ready to punch them in the mouth. But before I get to that, Brandon, talk to me. What do you think about all of this that's going on with the Kansas City Chiefs?
Oh, man. Like you said, Kansas City Chiefs, undeniably great. It's kind of weird because I cheer for the Chargers too because of you, right? So on one hand, it's kind of like back in the day, you mentioned Tom Brady, when Tom was doing great and you were just sick of seeing them in the playoffs. You were like, okay, I'm done with this. I have some variety. Let's have a fun and competitive league. And it just didn't feel like that sometimes. Right. It's starting to feel that way right now. I don't want to see, I want to see the Chiefs lose in the first round, just so I can see more other teams play. It doesn't seem like it's like okay, well, they're going to win, and it's not boring, but it's a boring result. And so I would, like I said, with Tom, there was a flip where I was like, well, now we're witnessing, some Wayne Gretzky type shit. Right. I didn't get to, I'm too young. I didn't get to watch Wayne Gretzky. I didn't get to watch Michael Jordan. I would love to watch LeBron now because that's just, I want to see him go far because I want to see, possibly the best to ever do it. And with Tom, it was like, oh shoot, I want him to keep winning. I want him to keep winning because now I'm witnessing it. And, it's not there with Mahomes yet and the Chiefs. It's still in the I don't want to see them anymore phase. But at a certain point, I don't know. Like, am I going to make that switch? Because I like watching greatness. I like watching good football. And they produce great football. So it's kind of a toss-up, right?
I know how we can watch greatness.
Well, yeah.
And still get along with this, okay?
Watch
what Tom Brady did?
Great. Beat them. That's what we need.
No. I mean, yes, of course, too. But in the sense of Patrick Mahomes, what Tom Brady did that he will always have the edge. If Patrick Mahomes sometimes continues his trajectory and he gets the multiple more Super Bowl rings and he's in the contention of tying or being equal in Tom Brady in that regard. Well, Tom Brady, there was always this debate. Is it Tom? Is it Bill? Mm-hmm. Well, Tom Brady went to another team and said, I don't need Bill Belichick. In that first year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he wins the Super Bowl and he brings them to the promised land after forever. Mm-hmm. Mahomes, if I could talk to you,
he
like this will ever
Mahomes.
get to you.
He beat Mahomes too.
He beat you
Yeah.
with a new team, new head coach, new system, new players all around, timing, getting it all sorted. You could do that, right? I think you could do that. I think you could definitely do that on another team. On another team in a different division. In a different conference would be great. But you could do that, right? I think he could do that. And so that's what we got to do in order to watch greatness in Patrick Mahomes and not really care too much any given Sunday. He needs to go, and we need to ship him over to you, Brandon. I'm sorry.
There's no way that he ever leaves that team.
That's what they were probably saying in New England.
They probably did. But you know what? You know what, though? Is that there was the debate on if it was Bill or Tom. And so people weren't like as like high on Tom. No one ever, we had a comment on our last video and someone talked about how Tom Brady was never ranked up there, never ranked higher than Peyton Manning. You know, right. A lot of people still might hold that, but then at some point it's the guy wins so much that you can't deny it. But talent-wise, you know, people didn't view him like that. Whereas people very much view Mahomes not as it's Mahomes, it's not Andy Reid. But no one says, is it Andy Reid or is it's more like it's both of them. They're both crushing it.
Right.
It's the combo of both. And so he has a different type of admiration, I think. And there's no way. There's no way. Like he's going to be
maybe there's a bit of a difference.
He's going to suck late in his career and they're going to be paying him so much money and they're never going to get rid of him.
You know, Andy Reid is such an offensive genius, the way he schemes getting those guys open for Mahomes. Yes, Mahomes can create the magic in scrambling in the pocket, outside the pocket. But if you don't have the guys who know how to run this system as well, it is going to take a toll on his ability. But let's now get into what the Chargers are going to do and why they have the chance to punch the Kansas City Chiefs in the mouth. I can't stop saying that phrase because the visual that you get there is smash mouth football. And that's exactly what the Chargers are going to play with Jim Harbaugh leading the team. They're going to be tough. They're going to be strong. They're going to be mean. We've said it time and time again. But again, we're going to say this again too. Jim Harbaugh has won wherever he goes. When he went to a bigger program in college, when he finally went up there and he was coaching Stanford, he went to go play the Pete Carroll USC Trojans. Now, I was reading up on this, and I was reading some very interesting facts about that game, that rivalry, because how much of a variance in the two teams, the discrepancy between the teams' abilities was, I didn't realize how notable it was. So USC had a 35 home game winning streak going into that game. They were the preseason #1 ranked team. And if you were a betting man, listen to this. USC was favored between 39 and 41.5 points at the time against Jim Harbaugh's Stanford team. And to top it all off, Stanford was playing first-time starting quarterback Tavita Pritchard.
Who?
First time. Well, there you go. Not only who, but first-time starting QB. Well, Jim Harbaugh. Let's talk about in comparison to the Chiefs. Jim Harbaugh knew Pete Carroll's Trojans were the team to beat. Well, we all know who the team to beat is this year. It's Andy Reid's Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes leading the way. We've already talked about the Chiefs and the Chargers record and the discrepancy there. And surely the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be preseason #1 ranked team this year. 100%. Chiefs probably will be looking to be favorites in both the Chargers games this year. Just the way it is with Super Bowl back-to-back championships. Again, head coach, quarterback combo. Well, the time is now. I said it earlier. The time is now to start turning the tides. Harbaugh was +7 when he entered the NFL last time. He +7s in wins from the season before. Well, if history repeats itself, and it often does, that brings the Chargers to 12 wins, 12-5 record, which is what my prediction is. I have a magic 8 ball, and that is going to also be with us splitting the games with the Kansas City Chiefs, but us playing smash mouth football and punching the Chiefs in the mouth. Call me crazy. What do you think? There's no way it is crazy. Brandon, talk to me.
So, the way that you talk about how the Chargers will play, I think, is probably the way that a lot... Now, okay, this sounds bad. But is how the Raiders feel their team has been handling the Chiefs as of late. And they beat them last year, I believe, right?
Yeah, they beat them on Christmas Day.
And Antonio Pierce is like, we're just focusing on beating the Chiefs. And I think that actually might help you guys out a bit. Just because there's a target on this team specifically, so they have to work extra hard to change up their plays, to guard against this, guard against these rushes, protect against that, whatever it is. And they just have teams playing harder and harder against them. Not that teams go easy against any other teams,
right.
But the Chiefs have very physical football ahead of them in every single game just because of who they are. So their team,
100%.
Maybe if you face them early in the season, maybe it's not that big of a deal. But if you face them later in the season, I'm not sure what your schedule's like. You face them late in the season, that game, like I could see it just, they're beaten down, not like, again, every team goes through similar things, but I think that just the attitude of other teams towards the Chiefs will help every opponent that the Chiefs face, just because of how they've had to mentally prepare, how they've had to be played against. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you. And we play the Chiefs both close to the beginning and close to the end. Okay. We play in LA close to the beginning of the season, and then in Kansas City in December. So that's going to be rough. But yes, their opponents have this mentality, because imagine the messaging. You beat the back-to-back Super Bowl champs, the best in the world. Mm-hmm. You can beat anybody. Mm-hmm. You can absolutely beat anybody. You beat Patrick Mahomes. You beat Andy Reid. You beat Chris Jones. You beat Travis Kelce. You beat all of these superstars who keep doing it time and time again. That's going to rile me up. I bet it's going to rile the team up even more. That's what we have to do. Smash mouth football. I can't wait. There we have it. The LA Chargers. Are they going to punch the Kansas City Chiefs in the mouth? I sure think so. And I bet a lot of Chargers fans agree. What about the rest of the NFL community? Let us know in the comments. We've been having great conversations with the community over the last few weeks. We appreciate it. Please continue. Let's chat football. The season is not yet upon us. We need to fill that void, and we can do that talking football each and every day. Brandon's available. I'm available. Thank you so much. Remember, subscribe, like the video, hit the notification bell. Helps us all out. Brandon, why don't you send us off?
Yeah, do everything he said, comment. I've been having fun replying to comments. It's actually been kind of cool to see, a lot of people are very insightful. So, if you got something to say that's insightful or not, say it. And if I reply, I put the little B next to it. That's me. Yeah, it's been fun. So please do that. Stay engaged, engage me. I'd love to engage back. And, that's it for today. So everybody out there, Skol Bolts. Skol Bolts. Okay. See ya.